Well, hey there, it's Jenny Wallach with Keller Williams Realty, the Wolek Group in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm so excited to introduce another session of Agent Success Secrets. And today's guest, I'm so excited to share Claire Buckler with you guys. So Claire is an amazing inside sales agent, officially director of lead generation, I think is your official title, Claire. You are so important and responsible on your real estate team, the Grady Real Estate team, and Springfield, Joplin, Branson, not too far from me here in Tulsa. And you guys do a big, big business.
Yeah.
So tell everyone who you are and how you guys do all this business up there.
Yeah. Well, my name is Claire, and again, here in the Springfield area, I've been with Grady Real Estate for 7 years, and I was their first ISA, and we have a team of ISAs, and really all that is just people that can full-time lead gen. And so Adam's really built a big business on lead generation. Of our transactions last year, over half of them were repeat and referral business from our past clients. So it's really something we work a lot at, along with finding new people that we can help. But a lot of it has to do with connecting and following up and just really staying in front of people.
Well, you didn't drop the number because I think when people hear how many homes you can sell on a real estate team in the middle of America, they might be that might blow their mind. So how many families did you actually get to serve in 2023, a wonky year for most of us?
Yeah,
How'd you
yeah,
do the year?
yeah. We ended here in Springfield at 426. And then I believe there was another 60 in the Joplin area, so almost 500.
That is so amazing. What would you attribute your success to?
I think that as a team, we actually talked about this on the morning call, and that's what keeps coming to mind is just really consistency. We're very consistent, like I mentioned, with reaching out to people, staying in front of them, asking good questions, staying in front of the market. One of the biggest questions we get right now is, how's the market? Or, oh, I hear the market isn't good. And being Adam and Carrie do a great job of keeping the whole team educated on the market so that we can really relay that to our friends and our clients and make sure that everybody can make good decisions for their families.
So what I'm hearing is first you got to know what's happening in the market. So we must be educated in our profession to then best help our clients. You are talking to people every single day about buying or selling.
Yep.
What are so you shared that they're just not certain what's happening, but what are some of the best things that you are seeing is getting you to then set the appointment? Because that's the goal. We can talk to
Yeah.
people all day long, but if we don't actually set an appointment, what's the point?
Yeah. I think for this setting of the appointment, it's really just um, letting people know that you don't know what, you don't know until you meet with us, right? We really don't know what your house is worth. We don't know if we can find that perfect property. All we can do is meet with you and see how we can help you. And you're just really painting that picture for them. We're just here to help. I hear my ISAs all day long, like there's no commitment, like you don't have, we're not going to force you to sign paperwork or anything like that. Like we just want to meet with you and see if we can help. And I think that's always coming from, contribution, trying to help people. I hear Carrie all the time, our sales director, talk about, I don't care if you buy a house today, tomorrow, or 6 years from now, right? We're just here to help in whatever way we can. And I think when we come from that spot, people, want to meet with you and we can help some of those people. And sometimes they refer other people and it just creates a really great snowball. But that's really where we kind of start and end the conversation. And then from like a technical perspective, just making the phone call and making the ask. Sometimes that's where we have to start with. But we always try to come from that place. But at the end of the day, you got to make the phone call, you got to make the ask. And you have to have a system so that you're following up and calling the right people or the people that you said you would call back later.
So I know that a lot of people are solo agents or have small teams, and they probably pride themselves, and we do as well, that, we're mostly a relationship and referral-based business. And
Mhm.
the idea of an ISA department or a person that's their own role every day, it sounds maybe far-fetched for us. So let's just
Mhm.
kind of translate that to, if you don't have an ISA, you are the ISA. So let's just speak to all realtors, all real estate agents out there. Lead generation and follow up are really our number one job. So how can you best educate people, Claire, on the things that they should be doing, on whether it's tracking or following up? What's your system?
Yeah. So there's two major systems that come to mind. One is tracking our numbers, meaning I know exactly how many people I need to talk to get an appointment. And I know that because every day I write down how many people I spoke to, how many appointments I set, how many showed up, how many signed paperwork, when under contract close, right? So track all of that every day. And over time, that creates a really great story on what I need to do to produce an appointment. And so I'm always very clear on what I need to do that day. And then the second one is having some sort of follow-up process, right? I don't talk to somebody that doesn't go in the system with a task or reminder, whatever. You could do it on a spreadsheet if you wanted, right? Put a date that you need to call them again, right? But you have to have something that will remind you to call them, because if you're talking to any sort of significant amount of people every day, you will forget people. You'll forget that person you talked to at the coffee shop, that you exchanged numbers and said she might be interested in 3 months, right? We have to have some sort of plan and process to follow up with those people, or they get forgotten. It's one of the big ways that Adam actually utilizes the team, right? Obviously, we're making calls, but I can't tell you how many text messages I get that he's like, hey, I talked to so-and-so. Can you remind me in 2 weeks to call them again? Right. And that's how he utilizes us.
Average.
And we help him not forget to call people, because we're talking to a lot of people, right? As people in relationship businesses, right? We talk to so many people every day, and we will forget to call some of those.
Now, are you getting permission first, and what would it sound like if you
Mhm.
do, in order to follow up? So
Mhm.
somebody today, you get them on the phone, they clicked on your website, maybe having some interest in buying a home this year, but they're not ready yet.
Mhm.
How does that conversation sound?
Yeah. So there's two different ways you can do it. You can just kind of tell them like, hey, I'm going to give you a call back in 2 months, check in and see how it's going. Is that okay? Or, if they're a more formal person, I might go the route of being, hey, I would love to can I have your permission to give you a call in 2 months and check back in? Would that be okay? So if they seem a little more reluctant, a little more standoffish, a little more formal, I might go that route. But a lot of times I just do the assumable one, which is, hey, I'm just going to tell them what I'm going to do, and they will tell me if that's not okay.
Yeah, and they will very rarely tell you no
They
on.
very rarely will tell you no. Most people appreciate it. And I will tell you that when I use specific wording and then I call them in 2 months. So what I do when I call them in 2 months is I'm like, hey, this is Claire with Grady Real Estate. We spoke 2 months ago and you asked me to give you a call back.
Perfect.
Now they're like, oh, I did. And you typically get a better conversation out of them because, and you're now starting a trend of doing what you said you would do, right? I told you I'd call you in 2 months and now I've called.
Yeah.
Be ready
So
to go.
So good,
Mhm.
so good. So what about those leads or referrals that have come your way and you just aren't able to connect with them? Maybe you've captured their data in some way, but you haven't had a two-way communication at all. What does that follow-up look like? How do you not forget?
Yeah, yeah. So I use a CRM. So I'm putting a reminder. So if it's a new referral or something like that that hasn't answered, I'm typically doing some sort of like 5 days, like 5 business day. Every day I'm going to call or text. I might rotate them or do them. If somebody had said it was urgent, like if there was an urgency behind it, I might do both on the first day. And then I'm a big downgrader or upgrader, right? So if I have if I am not getting a hold of them, well, after 5 days, maybe I'm going to wait 3 or 4 days to try again. Or maybe I wait a week and I'm going to just start a downgrade and lengthen that time that time frame between the follow-ups till, I mean, a year. I'll hit a year before I totally back burner them. I'll just keep, and I'll lengthen the time in which, I follow up. And then the same thing with leads that are, leads or referrals that are warming up a little bit, right? Maybe it's been 2 months since I've talked to them. I called them, they're like, actually, I just spoke to a lender yesterday. Okay, well, now I'm going to call them in a couple days, right? And if they're getting hotter, then I'm going to shorten that length of time. And typically it's something like, I typically work in, weeks, months, quarters. So it's kind of a good stair step at how often we're reaching out to somebody.
Now, I know you have a huge database, so it would just be virtually impossible to call through, I don't know, what you have, 30,000 people in your database. So what are ways that you guys are, reaching out that they are kind of opting in or raising a hand? They do want to talk to you. How are ways you're doing that?
Yeah. So most CRMs now have some sort of drip plans. Some of them have plans already there. Sometimes you can create them. But having some sort of email going to them. And again, most CRMs, especially if you have a website with them, you can do like a market update or a property update. It'll send them properties. Those are great ways. Or you can just create some sort of email marketing. They need something to see your brand and your name coming back through, because then when you follow up with the phone call, a lot of times you'll hear some connection where they'll remember seeing your name. We also use text messages when it's appropriate for the type of the way the person came to us. And we might have some sort of consistent texting, or I might send a message to try to see if I can pull some of those unresponsive people towards the top. So we do it a couple different ways. It just depends on where they came from and what their responses have been in the past.
And really, with the world today, most people aren't taking your phone call. So you got to sprinkle in these other ways to communicate. Claire, what is a successful text that you send when appropriate, you have permission, that you are sending that gets a response back from people?
Mm-hmm. So for some of those older, maybe unresponsive people in your database, I love the beginning of the year because you can kind of use the new year as a way. But I've had a lot of success with, hi, this is Claire with Grady Real Estate. At some point you were connected with our team, maybe looking to buy or sell. What are your real estate plans for 2024? And that text message gets a lot of, you'll get some no's, right? Or some stops, and that's fine. I appreciate those just as much as I do a valid one. But we had several listings off of that in the past, some high-end listings. And it was a very successful little text that we sent out to generate some hand raisers out of there.
I love it. Just staying in touch, staying in communication with people is really just the name of the game, but then tracking and following up. What would you say are other important things that us realtors, we're starting this new year? We have high hopes and expectations for ourselves and our productivity. I know a culture of productivity is so important on your team. How do we get that energy and enthusiasm up and actually have some fun in real estate again? Anytime.
Yeah, I think that having an accountability person or somebody that you can create some competition with. I'm a fairly competitive person. So we've done competitions within people in our region, even the market center, some other teams. We've had some friendly competition where we've had to buy each other lunch. Which is always kind of fun. Within the office, we have found recently that having our goals really visible for everybody to see. So we have an appointment goal. Our appointment goal this month is 105 appointments, and there's 105 little boxes on a window between our office and our sales manager's office. And we go in and fill in the box, and every time we set an appointment, and the agents see that, and it just brings a lot of energy. So I think everybody has a different style, but anything like that seems to work really well. A little competition or just some And there's lots of, I know that and you would probably know this, but there's lots of little like personality things that come with that. But that filling in the box when you set an appointment, or like it's like checking, when you have a list of things and you can check them off, it kind of hits that part of your brain that gets you pretty excited and happy that you marked off a goal.
Yeah. So
Those
if
are-
if the job of all of us as real estate professionals, whether you're an ISA or you're an agent, or anyone on a real estate team, is to have lots of conversations and help people through the process and get into relationship with them, that therefore you get to help them through this real estate transaction and you get to closing. It's so exciting and fun. But what are and this had quite the buzz over the past few years, the MOFers, the make offer for instant response. What are some of the MOFers that you guys share that, again, in this 2024, it's the time to buy? Is it the interest rates have gone back down? Is it the inventory still low? What's your famous line?
I don't know if we have a famous line. I'm trying to think, what would Carrie and Adam say? I don't think
Or
we have.
that's the answer, is that
Yeah,
there's no magic pill.
there's no magic. Yeah, it's really like the MOFR comes from asking good questions, and that way so if you ask good questions and can figure out what their actual hesitation is, that's where you win. Because then well, can I help them or I can't? Do I just need to educate them, or do we need to wait a little bit? And to me, asking good questions so there's clarity on because again, right, my job is follow up. So a win for me is feeling really confident in what I'm doing. Am I upgrading them or downgrading them? Like, where am I putting them in my database so that they are followed up with correctly? And it's the questions, right? What has you holding off? What makes what have you heard that makes you think the market isn't good right now? And it's asking those types of questions so you're super, super clear on what their hesitation is. And that's where the magic is. If you can get that done, sky's the limit.
Yeah, that's the perfect answer. Just peeling back all the layers to see what really is most important to them so that we can help them, because that's the point of this whole game, right?
Yeah.
All right. So share who you are and where you are so that if anyone watching would like to send y'all a referral, then they can do that.
Yeah. So Claire Buckler, Grady Real Estate, or Adam Grady, you could search either one. And then we're Springfield, Branson, and Joplin. So really anywhere in Southwest Missouri. Give me a call. If we can't help you, I'll find somebody great who can.
Well, I am so excited that I got to learn from you today. I do have 2 pages of notes, so I will be following up with you to make sure that we can implement some of this good stuff that you shared with us. Thank you, Claire, for all your knowledge.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, talk to you later. Bye.